The latest decision Alexandra Eala made in China has backfired as she suffers setback. Alexandra Eala's campaign at the WTA Jingshan Open came to an end at the hands of Lulu Sun in the semifinals. Eala picked Jingshan over the China Open as she opted to play the WTA 125 event rather than the 1000 tournament. The Filipino was the highest-ranked player in the tournament and was expected to lift the trophy in Jingshan. The star has produced a breakout year in 2025, including notching wins against Yelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek in a miraculous run to the Miami Open semifinals. The star's decision to play the Jingshan Open rather than the China Open can now be called a mistake after her semifinal exit, as the star would have earned far more money and ranking points in Beijing. Alexandra Eala would have earned more money in China Open qualifying than at the Jingshan Open. Eala's match with Lulu Sun saw the 20-year-old star pocket $5,300 for her loss against the former Wimbledon champion. The Filipino star would have earned $7,155 just for reaching the first qualifying stage alone, which would have doubled for each stage she reached. Of course, Eala's decision was likely not made with financial success in mind, but the star would have also had the chance to earn far more ranking points in Beijing. Eala earned 27 points at the Jingshan Open for her semi-final display, which was not enough to crack into the WTA Tour Top 50. When Alexandra Eala arrived in China earlier this month, her eyes gleamed with the kind of determination that has long defined her young career. At just 20, she had already etched her name into tennis history as a rising star from the Philippines, carrying not just her own ambition but the dreams of a nation eager to see her break barriers on the global stage. China was supposed to be the next step in her climb. The WTA Asian Swing, with its cluster of tournaments in Beijing, Guangzhou, and Wuhan, had offered her both opportunity and risk. She chose, boldly, some would say recklessly, to change her approach in pursuit of a higher ranking and bigger breakthroughs. But in sports, decisions that look sharp on paper can blur under the bright, unforgiving lights of competition. The gamble. Eala had made a pivotal choice, to skip smaller ITF tournaments, where she was all but guaranteed deep runs, and instead test herself against higher-ranked players in China's premier WTA events. The logic was clear. Beating established names on a bigger stage would fast-track her rise up the rankings. More points, more experience, more visibility. "I don't want to play it safe anymore," she had told reporters before her opening match. "If I want to be in the top 50, I have to play like I belong there. That means going where the toughest battles are." Her coaches backed her decision, albeit with caution. Fans, too, buzzed with excitement. Social media lit up with messages like, "Alex is ready for the big stage," and, "Finally, we'll see her against top seeds." But dreams, no matter how glittering, don't guarantee results. The backfire. Her first match in Beijing pitted her against a seasoned top 30 opponent. 4-2 sets, Eala fought valiantly, her lefty forehand carving sharp angles, her fearless returns catching glimpses of brilliance. But the match ended in straight sets, her inexperience exposed by her rival's patience and tactical control. The story repeated itself in Wuhan. Another early exit. Another reminder that the WTA level is not just about raw talent but also about resilience and adaptability. By the time she stepped onto the court in Guangzhou, fatigue, physical and emotional, was visible. The unforced errors piled up, her usually crisp footwork looked heavy, and she bowed out again in the first round. Suddenly, the bold decision to chase higher-level tournaments looked less like ambition and more like miscalculation. The emotional toll. The defeat hit her harder than most expected. Eala isn't just any tennis player. She's a trailblazer from a country where tennis courts are fewer than basketball courts, and international success stories in the sport are rare. Every match she plays carries the weight of expectation, not just from fans, but from herself. In the post-match press conference in Guangzhou, her voice cracked as she admitted, "I wanted this so badly. I thought I was ready, but maybe I rushed. It hurts because I feel like I let myself down, and I know a lot of people back home are watching." Her honesty struck a chord. For athletes like Eala, setbacks are not just personal, they are communal. The Philippines has rallied behind her since she was a teenager, and now they, too, felt the sting of her struggles in China. Lessons in defeat. Still, setbacks are not failures if they yield lessons. Tennis history is filled with champions who once stumbled at the precipice of greatness. Naomi Osaka, Iga Swiatek, even Serena Williams all endured rough patches early in their careers before turning them into stepping stones. Eala's decision to face stronger opponents may have backfired in the short term, but it planted seeds of growth. She got a taste of the intensity, the pressure, and the pace at the top tier. Those experiences, painful as they were, will carve resilience into her game. Her longtime mentor Rafael Nadal once said, "You learn more from losing than winning, because losing makes you question yourself." That truth now rests heavily on Eala's shoulders. Reactions from the tennis world. Analysts were quick to weigh in. "Alexandra took a gamble that many young players avoid," commented ESPN analyst Mary Jo Fernandez. "Most would stay in the ITF circuit and collect points. But she wanted to accelerate her growth. It didn't work this time, but it shows her mindset. She's aiming high, not settling." In the Philippines, reactions were mixed. Supporters flooded social media with encouragement. "We're still proud, Alex. This is part of the journey." Others criticized her decision-making. She should have built confidence first before jumping into WTA-level battles. Regardless of opinion, everyone agreed on one thing. Alexandra Eala was still the country's brightest tennis hope, and one rough tour in China couldn't dim that. The path forward. So where does she go from here? Eala herself hinted at recalibration. "I think I need to find balance," she admitted after her last match. "Maybe mix smaller events with the big ones, so I can keep building confidence while testing myself against stronger players." Her team is already planning a return to Europe for indoor tournaments where the competition is fierce but manageable. The goal isn't to retreat but to regroup, to rebuild momentum while keeping her sights set on the bigger picture. What makes Eala compelling isn't just her skill but her spirit. Time and again, she's shown grit, bouncing back from disappointments with renewed hunger. If anything, this setback in China may become the crucible that strengthens her resolve. A nation watches. Back home, young Filipino players still look up to her as proof that global tennis isn't out of reach. Schools and academies replay her matches not as tales of defeat but as lessons in courage. "She inspires us because she's brave," said a 12-year-old player at the Eala Academy in Manila. "She tried, even if it was hard. That means we should try too." For Alexandra Eala, that may be the most important victory of all, showing that the path to greatness is not smooth, but worth walking.